But we begin with the latest on Israel's war on Hamas because there have been a number of developments tonight, from a push for a ceasefire to fighting in Israel's north as Hezbollah fired rockets from southern Lebanon, sparking wildfires. The move igniting fresh concerns of a wider war escalating in the Middle East. Large swaths of northern Israel were set ablaze by rockets launched by Lebanon's Hezbollah. 16 people, including 7 soldiers who helped in efforts to put out the overnight fires, were taken for treatment in hospital. Some houses caught fire in towns near the Lebanon border. Many residents were evacuated from their homes months ago since Hezbollah fired projectiles at Israel in parallel to the war in Gaza.
Israel's northern residents, tens of thousands of them, evacuated, will not live under such threat. We are defending this country, and no one should be surprised by our response. Hezbollah, just like Hamas, have the same Iranian-inspired script: to start wars, then to lose them.
Strong words were met with this. Hezbollah's deputy chief warning that an expansion of the war on southern Lebanon will be, quote, met with devastation, destruction, and displacement in Israel, adding, "We are ready for it." Meanwhile, relentless artillery shelling and airstrikes have been targeting central Gaza today. It comes as U.S. President Joe Biden says he continues to work with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to finalize the latest ceasefire proposal and get a deal done.
Is Prime Minister Netanyahu playing politics with the war?
I don't think so. He's trying to work out a serious problem he has. Thank you.
We are convinced it is the case that Israel is ready to implement this deal. As I said, it's their proposal put forward by the government, and they have maintained to us they are ready to implement it. We haven't seen any response yet from Hamas, but we do think it is important that the international community, and I think quite importantly, countries in the Arab world, have spoken out to call on this deal to be finalized and Hamas to accept it.
The United Nations also voicing support for the deal today.
Any initiative that leads to a ceasefire, that leads to an ending of what's happening now, is of course welcome. We can only hope that that is achieved, because the humanitarian situation bears words. We don't even know how to describe it anymore. It is beyond precarious. It is beyond catastrophic.
However, a Hamas official stating that they are not willing to accept the deal without a permanent ceasefire. But time is running out for those needing urgent care in Gaza.
The healthcare system, as you know, in Gaza has completely collapsed. And that means that there is, not only the infrastructure, but also the death and also the exhaustion of the doctors who are valiantly trying to maintain healthcare for patients in the most difficult situation.
Tonight, the World Health Organization says fewer than half of Gaza's 36 hospitals are partially functional. No medical evacuations have been carried out since May 7th after Israel took control of the Rafah crossing. Within that area of the southern Gaza Strip, the WHO says there are currently no functioning hospitals. With limited fuel, incubators are being used by up to 3 babies at once.
While levels of life-saving aid remain grossly insufficient, we cannot deliver humanitarian aid anywhere close to the scale that is needed.
Israel's post-October 7th offensive has killed more than 36,000 Gazans and created a humanitarian crisis with shortages of medicine, fuel, food, and water. After nearly 8 months of war in Gaza, children say it's basic challenges like finding clean water that occupy their minds as they trek through long, dusty roads lined with mountains of rubble. These children praying the war will soon end.